Hello there, Internet! It's your boy Krypno, aka Griffin Soroki here, and welcome to my new bedroom. I've been living here for the past, I want to say 2 months now, and it's really nice. This house is really nice. If you guys really want a house tour, let me know in the description and the comments down below, because this is a really nice house. But anyways, today's video is going to be a setup slash rig update tour, you want to say. Some things have changed. The last time I did a rig update was like 4 or 5 years ago. If you want to check it out, it's in the top right corner of your screen. But a fair bit has changed since then, so I figured I'd kind of give a little update as to what instruments I have, what I regularly use, how I record my instruments. So, as for starters, when I play an electric guitar, they're all going to be going through my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe 3. It is a valve amplifier that has a really nice clean and built-in distortion that I got for my 19th birthday. It's really nice. I got it like 4 or 5 years ago, and it still runs like a dream. So all of the electric guitars you will be hearing through that with my Shure SM57 kind of off axis from the cone of the speaker. When it comes to my electric bass, however, that will be going straight into my Focusrite Scarlett Solo 2i2, because, you know, miking up a bass doesn't really make sense. To get the most out of your bass sound, you generally go direct in. So that's what you'll be hearing there. And as far as my other acoustic instruments, it will be once again my SM57 kind of pointed at the instruments as you go along. So, without further ado, let's go instrument by instrument and tell you how it is. Alrighty, so the very first instrument on this list is my wonderful, as my older fans might know, the Super Squire. This is a Squire Stratocaster that we got for Christmas, I think I want to say like 11 years ago. Me and my brother, we both got electric guitars for Christmas. I got an SG, he got a Strat. The SG actually broke, and so I'm not using. I still have the body for it, but I'm not using that anymore. But as for the Strat, since I kind of picked up guitar more than him, I had decided to trade. We had bought a TV. Me and my brother bought a TV, so I traded my half of the TV for this guitar, and it did not look like this. I will show a picture. Hopefully, I can find a picture of what it used to look like, and I'll put it on screen now. But quite literally, everything has changed except for the body and this pickup. Everything. The neck, the pick guard, these two pickups, all the pots, the bridge, the tuners, the neck itself, everything. Literally everything has changed. So I won't go into every single specific detail. I guess the only couple things I can point out is number one, that this is a Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge and a Seymour Duncan Hot Rails in the neck, both of which I have a little coil tap switch to make it a single coil. I haven't changed the metal pickup. That's the last thing I want to do on this one. I think I might do like a Seymour Duncan single coil sized P90 to get like a fat sound. That'll be the last thing I do for this guitar. Otherwise, it will be complete. The neck is and if you check in the top left or top right corner of your screen, I did a video investigation as to the inverted headstock and that kind of stuff, and how it affects the guitar sound, and not really, to be entirely honest, but feel free to check that video out. That is the very same neck that is still on it to this very day, and I love it. It sounds great. I guess the only real issue I've had is that I kind of did as you can see, I did quite a bit of relicking on the guitar, but it turns out I might have done a little bit too much relicking, because the bridge got cracked. So where the bridge connects to the body cracked. So what we ended up doing, or my dad did, and I watched him do, is we kind of hollowed out a little bit and poured some epoxy in here, so you can kind of see it. Poured some epoxy so that when I use the tremolo, it doesn't bend out of tune. That's pretty much the only major hiccup we've had on this guitar. Otherwise, it sounds really nice. So that is that guitar. So we'll go ahead and cut to some clips of me playing this guitar for you. next instrument I regularly play is this wonderful, beautiful Epiphone Les Paul Custom. The way we got this was about 2.5, 3-ish years ago. My dad's coworker was really into guitars, didn't want this anymore, and was willing to sell it for like $300. It's a 2010 Korean-made Epiphone Les Paul Custom, and I gotta say, when I started playing guitar, I was mainly a Strat guy. I mean, come on, look, I've got 3 of them. And I never really was into Les Pauls, but then once I got my hands on this, I'm like, okay, I really like Les Pauls. Especially the Les Paul Customs, because they're so gorgeous. Even the Epiphone one, because it, you know, it's got the double bound body, the bound headstock with the trapezoid thing at the top. And the pickups sound so good for an Epiphone, you know. Again, this was only $300 and it sounds amazing. It's really comfortable to play. And when the Super Squire, when that was out of commission, when I started recording music on my Les Paul here, and it sounded so good. It's really good. So that's the story about this one. I haven't really changed anything at all, nor do I wish to. The only thing I can think of is what I might do is I might get the actual Gibson Les Paul Custom pickups, not Custom Shop Les Paul Custom. They're 2 different guitars. I might actually get those pickups and stick them in here and take these out and rebuild my SG, because that one broke. So I might put these into the SG and put the Gibson pickups in, but I kind of don't, because it already sounds amazing. So yeah, I'm a little conflicted on it, but yeah, that's this guitar. So on to the demo. Okay, so next guitar. This is a doozy. This is a Squire 7-string Stratocaster. I was at I found this when I was just perusing Guitar Center like 4 years ago, and I saw this. I was like, oh my god, I've never seen this before. And I was like, I have to have it. So I bought it on layaway because I didn't have much money. So I put it on layaway, and then I ended up paying it off. And it was finally mine. And the reason I had never seen it before, sorry that was loud, is because they really didn't make a whole lot of these. If you try to look on Reverb.com to find one of these, they're basically hard to come by. But objectively, it's kind of a trash guitar. I mean, the pickups sound terrible, so hopefully in a future video, actually no, there will be a future video where I'm going to update the 7-string here. I've got some parts, I've got some DiMarzio blazes, along with a bunch of other hardware that I'm going to put in it. But the only thing I've changed on it here is the 3-way blade, because honestly, the blades on the Squires are not that good. So I went ahead and swapped that. I'm going to swap out, and again, I'll go into more detail this in the video, but I'm going to swap out the bridge and basically everything else because there's a missing screw right here. But other than that, playing a 7-string, oh, it's very different, and I made a video on it, again, in the top right corner of your screen a couple of years ago, kind of explaining how I play it, and it's very different. It's very different, and it also just depends on the player. You know, some people like to do just regular E with drop A, or like a baritone with high E, or just a regular guitar with a low B. Just there's very different ways you can play 7-string, but I tend to play it with a baritone with a high E. That's kind of how I play a 7-string. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this guitar. Let's go on to the demo. On to guitar number 4. This is what I affectionately call as Super Squire 2. this is one that around the time when I had that kind of guitar phase on YouTube around just start of 2016, I was perusing around a pawn shop and I saw this one for about 90 bucks. I'm like, oh my god, I have to have this. So I went ahead and bought it, and much like Super Squire 1, I have changed a lot on this guitar. I haven't changed the neck. I did swap out to a different one, but I didn't like that one, so I swapped back to the original neck. I changed out the pots, I changed out the blade, and I changed out the pickups to some Fender Custom Shop Texas Specials, and they sound nice. They sound so good. Although the funny thing is, I think I accidentally wired them wrong, because when you wire a Strat, these two pickups have a kind of twangy sound, but they don't have that twangy sound, so I think what I accidentally did was I accidentally made a humbucker, and they kind of have a gnarlier, girlier sound, which you'll hear in the demo. I guess the last thing that I did change was I put strap locks on it, and I put some locking tuners on it. I was just kind of... Again, my dad's coworkers are very into guitar, so he just comes across parts. So he had a spare set of locking tuners that I went and threw on this guy. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Let's head on to the demo. Alright, now my one and only bass guitar. The brand is called Lady Luck, again from one of my dad's coworkers. He inherited this. It was a piece of crap. It was like maybe 50, 100 bucks. And what I did to it was, I think I kept the machine heads, but all I changed was the pickups. I put some Seymour Duncan quarter pounders. They're still not quite enough, so when I mix this down, I generally have to throw like a hard EQ on it and maybe put a limiter on it just to get it to have some girth. But the tone of it is actually really nice. And then I also changed the pots. And again, just like the 7-string Stratocaster, the Lady Luck brand is not really something that you can find a lot online, and it wasn't really a awesome brand to begin with. Just kind of like a knockoff brand, basically. So, and this has been my one trusty bass throughout the entirety of me recording covers and whatnot. I'd like to get another one. I think I want to try and get a 5-string, because I really like my 7-string, and I feel like a 5-string bass would complement that very well with the kind of music I like to write sometimes. But this has served me very, very well. Pretty much everything I've recorded, I've always had this bass on, and I have... As you can see, I've put a lot of stickers on it. This is kind of like, anytime I get a new sticker, I just chuck it onto the bass. So yeah, that's about it for this bass. We'll head on to the demo. Alrighty, that's it for the electrics. Now for the acoustic instruments. So this is my dad's Seagull. I don't know what the name of the actual model name. It's just a Seagull Acoustic that I kind of scarfed up on as a kid. So he's kind of like, yeah, just have it. So it's mine now. I will pay him back at some point. I will buy him this guitar again. But anyways. Besides that, this has been my trusty acoustic that I've used anytime I've needed an acoustic guitar on a song. This is what I've been used. Has a nice tone. Again, I'm not really an acoustic player. I'm more of an electric player, but this is pretty nice. I like to put some. I forget the brand of the string that I put on here, but there's a particular set of strings I like to use on acoustic guitars. But again, not really a whole lot to talk about because again, I'm not an acoustic guy. But it sounds pretty nice, and here's some demo of how it sounds. Alright, next acoustic instrument. This is the most recent instrument I've bought. It is a banjo. Not once have I ever, well, there's an exception, but I really don't listen to banjo music at all. I just want a banjo just to have that kind of an instrument. And I finally did record a song with it. I've recorded a couple songs with it. One of them I haven't released yet. The other one is linked in the description. It's a Still Alive from Portal. There will be a music video here on YouTube as well. I don't know when exactly that'll come out, but if it does, I will link it in the top right corner of your screen. Anyways, I know nothing about banjos. All I knew is I just want the cheapest one just to have one, and so I went down to Guitar Center of Sherman Oaks and picked this up for around $200-250. This guy, it's a Recording King. It was made in China. I mean, it's not really anything crazy. Again, I'm not a banjo player, so I don't really know what this high G string in the middle of the neck does. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to let me know exactly how to use this fifth string, but I'm slowly learning to how to play the banjo as time goes on. So yeah, that's about it, and on to the demo. Oh Lord, please forgive me for this. Sorry. Alright, so these last two are a little too small for this stand, so I'm just going to hold them. This is my mandolin. It is a Mitchell, once again, kind of a bottom-of-the-barrel mandolin, just to have one. Because again, I just want kind of the versatility. I don't know too much about mandolins, so all I know is that this one has served me pretty well. I picked it up at Guitar Center of Valencia for about $170. One thing I do know is that trying to restring this thing is a pain in the ass. I didn't find a tutorial. I literally just wanted to try and do it, and it was hard. What really got me was apparently on the bridge here, the where it hooks into the strings, there's not a really guarantee way. You kind of have to like fidget to get it in there, and you have to make sure you get them all at once, and you have to make sure you keep them straight up, otherwise they're all going to fall out again. So it's very hair-raising to restring this thing. But it's worthwhile because this thing is so cool, just chords at the wazoo. What I do know is that essentially, for those who aren't instrument freaks, it's basically a violin tuning, but with two strings of the same note, so G, D, A, and E, there's a double string, which is the same tuning as a violin. It's just in a kind of picking form. So, yeah, that's about it for this mandolin. Yeah, on to the demo. Again, sorry. Last acoustic instrument that I have is a ukulele. Again, I don't really listen to ukulele music a whole lot. I just want to have as many instruments as I can so that when I run into the situation where I can record a decent sound with a mandolin or ukulele or a banjo or anything like that, I have the instrument and I'm capable of doing so. But again, nothing special. It's about $100. Again, I picked this up at Guitar Center Valencia for this this here ukulele. Nothing really much too crazy to talk about. What I did use this and the mandolin to record on, and I will link this in the description, is I recorded with my brother for Christmas. We did a Feliz Navidad cover, which is awesome. I don't like bragging, but I will brag. It is a really good cover. I will link it in the description below, where my brother plays it, the melody on trombone, and I'm backing him up with every instrument I had at the time to get that sound going. So please check it out in the description below. It is pretty nice. So yeah, on to the demo of the ukulele. Alrighty, so the last thing to show off in my arsenal is my pedals. So I've got a couple here. These are all my pedals. These are all the ones I use. I do have a TS-808, but I don't really use that, so I just keep it in storage. But these ones I do regularly use. I have a Ditto looper. That's just, it's a loop pedal. I have two options for distortion. I have the built-in distortion for the Fender Hot Rod, as well as this Boss DS1. It's pretty nice. I do want to pick up like a Mesa Flux Drive, because whilst this has served me well, it's $50 and it sounds like it's $50. It's kind of a cheap distortion, but got the job done, so I'm ready to move on to that one. I also have this TC Electronic Afterglow chorus. I really wanted a chorus, but I knew nothing about it, so I walked into the Guitar Center and said, hey, looking for a chorus, what do you got? And they said they got this. And it sounds pretty good. I also have a Cry Baby Mini wah pedal, because of course, when you're an electric guitar player, you always have to have a wah pedal. Sounds pretty nice. And this is fun. So, this is a talk box. Now, if you've ever listened to Bon Jovi or Peter Frampton or Daft Punk, you will know what this is. And I will do a demo of it here in a second. I will do two simultaneously. One will be just the talk box, and the second will be just these pedals. But essentially what you do with a talk box is you can feed into it any signal, whether it be an electric guitar or a piano, any instrument signal, and you put this tube in your mouth, and you have to and you use your vowel shapes. So like when you're talking, you don't have to speak, but use your vowel shapes in your mouth. You're like ah, and that will shape the sound when you're doing a talk box. When you're playing the talk box, it's really fun. It sounds awesome. So yeah, the next two demos will be of the talk box specifically and the rest of the pedals, and then it will be on to the outro. As a side note, it's really hard to do this and breathe. I'll include this in the video. If you're playing a talk box, make sure you have your throat open, because you gotta breathe while you do this. Anyways, back to the demo. Alright, and I think the last thing that I want to mention is that how I record my music is obviously I go into my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 2nd gen, and I use FL Studio. That is my main audio mixing software, and I also compose in that. As far as video editing, I do Sony Vegas Pro 15. And sometimes when I'm doing, like, if I do a gaming video, I'll use, not XSplit, what was it? OBS. Yes. When I'm recording a gaming video, it'll be OBS, and when I'm recording my microphone for that gaming video, it's Audacity. Those are the recording softwares I use into my tower, which is the same tower I've had for about 7 years, but still works. It's an i7 4770K with a GTX 1060 and 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM. And I've got 3 hard drives and an SSD as far as my storage goes. My speakers are these Yamahas that I'll put that model name on screen. I don't know. They're the ones my dad gave me. My mouse and keyboard is the same I've had for a while. And the monitor that I use for gaming is this Asus, I don't know the name of it, but it's awesome. It's IPS, 144 frames per second, 1080p, 1 millisecond response time. It's super fun. So whenever I play video games and I want high refresh rate, this monitor is really good at it. So that about does it. Thank you for watching this little Reagan setup tour. This was pretty fun to make, and I hope it was pretty fun for you guys to watch. I think probably every weekend will be when I upload a video. I think that might be the strategy going forward, because I really love making videos, but I really don't want to cram everything in all at once, because that's often what I do. So I'm going to spread it out. I'm going to try and do a video every weekend. Be sure to be subscribed down below and hit the bell notification to know when I upload things, which will be every weekend. But as always, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. If your feelings go beyond that, leave a comment down below. Also, check out my SoundCloud. I've got some really, really good covers up there that I really like. I have my Portal Still Alive and my Feliz Navidad. Those are really good, so check them out. But as always, I hope you like this video, and have a good day. See ya.